Hey team, winner, winner, chicken dinner. We got ourselves a huge win here in the pre-market on ticker AUGX. Mentioned in the Discord that it needed to close over that predetermined level of 260. And if it closed over 260, it needed to then hold that level as support and then grind its way up into a target 293 and then of course $3. $3 being the mental hold dollar test. Close above that level, bullish up until 315. And look at that candle there. What a beautiful move, guys. I scalped this move here and here. We got the required volume. We had this major red, so I was a bit concerned, but I like the gap above. If you measure this gap here, we can see that this gap is the most favorable gap on this chart. 12% there to that level. And of course, if you can get the full gap from white line to white line, we're looking at a 21% gap. So of course, that's a more feasible gap for me to trade aggressively rather than this gap here where I know it's going to be tight and possibly choppy. So AUGX mentioned in our Discord, close above 260, needs to then hold that level. It's not a plus because of this major red back here, which was a negative 8.5% candle, but we can see before this move, we had no liquidity and no volume. So for me, number one rule, no volume, no trade. And of course, this white candle is our breakout volume, letting us know, hey, there's a lot of volume coming into this name. Do you want to trade it now? And of course, we can see the yellow candles as well, letting us know that there's consistent volume. And this is where I took my first trade, scalped into this move, held at Lotto, and bailed on that Lotto right there, stopped out. Closed above here, got back in, scaled into these moves up into this target of 293, took my profit, was holding a Lotto, and I actually accidentally sold my Lotto. You guys in Discord heard that live in voice, but accidentally sold my Lotto. Did not mean to do that, but we did have questions on how I would have held it, and I'd like to go over that as well. So how I like to hold my Lottos is after it closes above this level. This is my entry, and I'm in from here. I'll scale into profit here around 90%. I'm out holding a 10% Lotto here, right? Once we close above this level right here, we deem this as bullish. So now my stop moves from below this level to now below this new resistance broken, acting as support. So in my case, I would be looking at putting my stop right around this level, and I wouldn't wait for, I wouldn't look for a candle like this. This is on late prints. It's a wonky looking candle, so disregard that candle. That's not real price action there. That's again late prints coming in after 8 a.m. But we closed above this level. Keep an eye on the level 2, level 1 data, and you'll understand that this price was not all the way down here. It stayed above that price. If you just look at that bid and ask price, stayed above the 293. So my stop would be moved in around here, around 287, 285, somewhere in here where I feel comfortable, where I can be stopped out, but still ensure green and profit on my Lotto and get that icing on the cake. Well, we end up gapping up, hitting targets here and scaling into a new target and new high of 336, 337 area right here in this level. So that broke multiple levels in one move. So I would be a little skeptical on this one, and I'd probably move my stop right around this area here. And then once we closed above that level and continued, I think I'd start adjusting my stop a little bit higher. Now, we closed all the way above these levels. We gapped up. We can see this wick on this candle filled these gaps in this cluster of resistance. So we kind of anticipate some choppy price action here. And you can see that after this move had completed, I added a new idea that it needs to close over this 408 level above before I really deem it as bullish. So that's where I have my alert set. And the reason for that is because this is a cluster of resistance, which means there's a lot of choppy bag holders in there that I anticipate some choppy price action. So AUGX, this wick completed most of these levels, and so did this candle here. So my stop, once it was here, I would move it to there. Once it closed above this level, maybe move it to there. And now it hit these levels. So maybe once it closes above, as we can see here, you can move it up to this level here. So red candle, this is our first red candle here. If I hover over that line, you can see that. Yes, it had high volume, but it was in the wrong direction, a red candle, right? Closed below that level, and that's where I would stop out. So for anyone who was holding a Lotto and got in that trade with me this morning, if you got in at the close above, which is right here, and scaled out into your profit, you got a 31% Lotto once it closed below that level. And excuse me, actually, this is the candle that closed below. So we'd get a little bit more on that trade. So we'd get about let's see, 33% on that trade in less than really 15 minutes. So if I measure these candles exactly from here to here, that's 16 bars. So 16 minutes, as this is a 1 minute chart. So within 15 minutes, you're looking at a 30% trade. Maximum profits on this trade would have been, if you got in from here, you would have gotten a maximum profit of 41%. And of course, $1.08 per share. And that was all, again, within 15 minutes after that confirmation move that I called out in our Discord. After after that, again, I don't deem this as bullish really until it gets above this cluster of resistance. So really, it's not even worth watching to me. I would set alerts in these areas to start watching then, and until it gets to that area, this chart would be off the screen and I would no longer be watching. So PTPI is another one that I was looking for a possible trade. It was getting some volume, but very low volume and low liquidity. Yes, we got high volume once the market opened. Look at that nasty candle. And luckily, confirmation saved us from a false breakout. So PTPI, I wanted to see it get over $8.20. I mentioned that again in our Discord for our premium members. It never closed above that level. It's not A+, and we can see that major red, which is a negative 7.5% candle. So for me, guys, I'm really happy to be green on AUGX. And I'm really happy to avoid these type of trades and avoid these major reds and lock in those profits. So for me, I'm going to shut it down. My one win of the day was 2 trades here on AUGX, both at this 260 level right in here once we start to see those colored candles and volume arrive. So guys, that's my trade recap today on AUGX. I hope you're green. I'll see you in the next one. Thanks.